Hello everybody, we are back here on the Hunter Call of the Wild, and today is a very much anticipated video that you guys have been really wanting me to make, and that is a Trophy Lodge tour. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at everything that has to do with this Trophy Lodge from front to back, and we're going to start with what we have here in the very first room. I'm probably not going to go over every single trophy as there is like hundreds of trophies in here, but we will start here. We've got a 266.9 red deer. This was the very first Trurex red deer diamond that we ever ended up killing on the live build. I did get a couple in the beta back when they used to do betas, but this guy right here was the very first Trurex one, and then across from it we've got ourselves my largest legacy rack red deer, which is an absolute beast of a red deer. I believe 275 was the max back then, so a 274.4 is very nice. We now turn over to the left, already getting into something pretty nice right here. We got three awesome moose that are all various different racks, and this guy happens to be a 307. I don't think they can actually get that big anymore. This was before they changed the scoring on them. We've got a 448 light brown reindeer. We've got a 458 reindeer over here, a legacy axis deer, and then another legacy piebald axis deer. And then as we go into this room, we've got our melanistic mountain lion with a 413 Roosevelt elk. This is the largest elk that I have ever killed, and it is an absolute giant as well. Up on this wall, we've got various trophies from different maps. We've got our albino mountain goats, a couple really nice diamonds. I believe the one on the very end over here is our biggest ever. If we could get an angle, yeah, 113.6. This is the largest one that we have ever come across. This guy doesn't actually score this high. This was a legacy one, so it had the 1 to 1000 score. I believe it was a 997. Unfortunately, when they switched over the systems, it kind of ruined the score on this guy, but I mean, it's still the same elk, and it is a beautiful one. We've got a max score Cape Buffalo up here. That was quite the crazy trophy to take down. One thing that I've noticed about the Bighorns Cape Buffalo is I never find them. I hardly ever find them at all. But when I do, it's either max score or very close. So that has been kind of interesting to see all that unfold. We've got ourselves our only Trurex diamond for the black buck, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, that might be a legacy. Let's see the date. Oh yeah, that's a legacy for sure. So all those are legacy diamonds. We got a legacy leucistic male that is actually a pretty good one as well. Over here we got various duck diamonds. We got a couple diamond pheasants right on this little table. And then as we go over here, we have our only rare male pheasant, and it is a beautiful melanistic, my favorite trophy in my lodge. You guys probably hear me talk about this thing all the time, and it really is my favorite thing. It's the only melanistic in the game that has a blue, a very bright blue tint to it, and I just can't get over how gorgeous it looks. By far my favorite trophy in the entire lodge, and then we have it paired with the 21.2 diamond pheasant. We've got ourselves a couple legacy rack mule deer diamonds back here. Neither of them were too close to a max score, unfortunately, but they were the only two legacy diamonds I was able to get before they changed them over to Trurex. Then right here we have ourselves a legacy melanistic kudu with a red-brown female, and then double albino legacies. I am still probably, I'd have to say this is one of my favorite trophies as well. It's definitely a top 5 trophy. I've never seen an albino kudu quite this big ever since this one right here. Unfortunately, I got this years before I did content on YouTube. It was one of my first things that I got back when Verhonger Savannah came out. So it was quite the crazy trophy to run across, and I was just blown away to even have it in front of me, but I really wish I could have recorded it. Then up here we have some of our better mule deer trophies, an albino 243. This used to be bent backwards, but with the most recent update they actually fixed this rack. But this is our dilute diamond. When we shot it, it did look different because the antlers were bent backwards, but now that they've fixed that rack, it looks quite different than what it did when we shot it. It's still the biggest diamond I've ever killed, and it just happens to be our only dilute diamond as well. So that's pretty crazy. Over here we've got our melanistic, we can get to it, melanistic mule deer scoring 245. We actually ended up killing this guy on Rancho del Arroyo at the southern hotspot, which unfortunately nowadays that southern hotspot is nerfed and does not work the way that it used to, so that's a little unfortunate. Up here we have my very first super rare that I ever killed. We ended up getting this thing shortly after Yukon released. back in 2019, which is kind of crazy that it's been that long since Yukon came out. This was well before I started doing content on YouTube as well, but it is a beautiful trophy, and man, I just wish that I was able to share stuff like this with you guys, but because I played the game a decent bit before I started YouTube, it unfortunately just wasn't possible to show them off. But right here we have a max scoring female Gemsbok. This used to be a 1000, but then, like I mentioned, they switched over the scoring system, and then a couple updates later, something happened where it just, for some reason, gave them a trophy rating instead of the 1 to 1000 score. And then we've got another max score over here. This one was from the current system, so it actually does have a newer date on it, but that is 2 max score Gemsbok. Both of these were level 5 females, the only level 5 females that I've ever run across. It was kind of crazy seeing both of these. Never really expected to find a second one, but sure enough, we ended up doing that. They are extremely rare. Then below them we have a 6.8 European hare. To be honest, I don't know too much about what the scores are for European hare, so I really don't know if that's a giant or not, but we got a light brown European hare here. I think this actually is max score. If I'm not mistaken, I think 7 is max score, so that probably is a max score one. We've got other various rabbit trophies. We've got a piebald diamond cinnamon teal. We've got our max scoring male Gemsbok, which you may notice the score is quite a bit lower than the females. That's because males a lot of times don't make diamond, and when they do, it's just barely, but that is the max score for a male Gemsbok. They can't get any higher than 342. We've got a couple rare mouflon over here, including a 144 albino and a 156 melanistic. We've got a legacy, or not legacy, but a Truax albino kudu and another Truax kudu. That is absolutely beautiful. This is probably my best rare kudu on the Truax system. And then we've got ourselves a melanistic one in the middle, along with a couple diamond wildebeest and a couple diamond springbok. Now we're finally done with this first section. Let's move to the second one. This is one of the juicy rooms. We've got ourselves an albino turkey, but this is probably one of the least impressive things in this room. We've got a wall of just every type of pronghorn that I could fit on here. We've got a, what I call the heart horns, where it kind of touches at the top and makes almost a heart shape. We've got probably my favorite horns that barely make diamond. Unfortunately, they don't score too much higher than that. We've got a 93.5 albino. That was actually something we killed when we were actually after one of those legacy mule deer diamonds. It ended up leading us straight to this thing, which was absolutely insane to watch unfold. And I think that was one of my most popular videos back around the time where Truax mule deer were released. So it is one that I know a decent amount of you have probably seen. Then we've got our leucistic one over here, scoring 81.7. Not a super high scoring one, but still a pretty cool trophy. And then if we flip around over here, we will have our triple Great One multi-mount. This 330 right here is the most recent one that we killed in the early access for the brand new weapon pack. One of the most insane encounters with a Great One I've ever had my whole time playing the game. There have been a few different Great One encounters at this point, 4 whitetail ones and 1 red deer one, but none of them were quite as unexpected as this most recent dude right here. And I think the only one that comes close when it comes to being something super unexpected is maybe this big rack one. I really was not thinking that we were even close to getting a great one, and then this guy ended up showing up. And he was able at the time to complete our multi-mount, and then I continued grinding, wanting to get something to replace this guy up here because he is bugged out, as you guys can see. This was the first great one that we ended up killing, and unfortunately with the next update they did after we got him, it ended up turning him from a common to a piebald, so unfortunately that ended up happening. I would display him kind of with just the antlers showing, but it really doesn't look that good. But at the same time, I don't like the fact that there's a piebald and I didn't shoot it when it was a piebald. I ended up shooting it as a common, and it ended up turning piebald a couple updates later, which is still very unfortunate. I know it happened to a lot of other creators as well. Kill Clinton's turned into an albino. I think Lady Legends turned into something as well, but it was quite unfortunate that all that happened. Next, we've got a bunch of different kudu from Legacy and Truax. We're not really going to go over those too much. They're not super crazy. Then we got ourselves a diamond gray fox up here that I believe is max score, if I'm not mistaken. And you look right below it and you will see a red fox diamond and a white-tailed jackrabbit, as well as our only bob white quail diamond. Then over here we've got ourselves an eastern cottontail diamond along with a leucistic female pheasant. We've got ourselves the great one red deer, which took us a whopping 3,000 kills to find. Still one of the hardest things I've ever grinded for in Call of the Wild. I think I managed to crack out those 3,000 kills in just a week, killing an average of 500 red deer a day and spending like 10 hours a day searching for it. Definitely the hardest I've ever worked for a trophy. I don't plan on going 10 hours straight every day ever again for anything, but it was well worth it. We ended up getting this guy within a week of its release, which was pretty sweet to seal the deal on it. Last but not least, in this room, we've got ourselves a melanistic jackal. These things are incredibly rare, and this one we found just randomly when searching our single-player map. Moving down the hall, we've got a melanistic Canada goose chasing our only diamond European bison. This was another trophy that we worked hard for, tried to get it as quickly as we could, but it was one of those things where I knew nothing about Hirschfelden. And I was honestly surprised that we did as well as we did with this guy. There was quite a few spots that I never knew about on Hirsch that are just great for bison. And we ended up sealing the deal on this guy within the week, I believe, which was really nice to get that done. As we go down this hall, we've got various different diamond elk with different rack shapes. We've got some more just rabbits, Rocky Mountain elk, as well as the Roosevelts. We've got ourselves a melanistic goose over here. I think that this is probably the most impressive elk out of all of them, being a 509.6 brown. Just love the look of that thing. And in the next room over, we've got the only albino Sika that I've ever killed. These things, once again, along with a couple of the other trophies we mentioned, are just incredibly rare. I've only seen one of these, and I don't see them get posted too often. So I've got a feeling they're probably one of the most rare things in the game when it comes to albinos, at least. Up above, we got ourselves a 169 diamond water buffalo. We've got a melanistic mule deer, some more legacy axis deer, a legacy diamond blacktail, which, believe it or not, this is not very realistic looking. I know a lot of people like the old racks for the blacktail, but the current ones are more realistic. These definitely look more like crazy and impressive, I guess, but they're definitely not what real blacktail look like. This is honestly what most blacktail I've seen look like, is something along the lines of this right here. But that is a really cool melanistic blacktail that I believe we ended up getting after they did the reset on Layton. This guy was an initial spawn. And then we've got ourselves a couple more of the Kudu over here. We've got a melanistic caribou that's a decent level 4. There's something about the level 4s, I just don't know how I like a lot of these ones. Like, some of the level 4s just really don't look like they should score as low as they do, which has always been one of my biggest gripes with the Caribou True Rex. They just don't seem to score quite as nicely as you would expect them to, and a lot of them really don't get as big as real-life ones would. Right here, we've got ourselves one of the first True Rex Blacktail, I believe, that I killed, or to be honest, I don't remember when True Rex was introduced to the game. I just know this was from before they brought in the scoring system 2.0. We've got a Canada Goose Diamond right there, along with a Piebald Diamond Cinnamon Teal, and a Dark Gray Harlequin Duck Diamond. Right here, we have a pretty insane multi-mount of whitetail deer. We have our largest whitetail deer from after they did the scoring changes on them, 274.4. We also have a 291 right here in the center. This was from before they lowered the scoring on them. And this was the first, like, massive diamond that we got on the very first Great One grind I ever did. I think it was just a couple weeks after the Great One was released for the whitetail deer. So this guy's been in our lodge for a long time, and it's still the biggest non-Great One whitetail I've killed in the game. It's just a stunning buck, and I believe this guy right here is the bugged Great One that we got that turned out to be a level 5 on my map. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'd recommend checking it out, because it was kind of just one of the most heartbreaking moments I've ever been through in Call of the Wild. Looking at this guy and him being a level 5 instead of being a Great One with a level 10, it was just so sad. Right here is our True Rex Black Buck. I guess the other ones we looked at were the Legacy, because this guy's definitely the True Rex. And then we got a couple of the Legacy ones up there as well. We got a Diamond Plains Bison, a Diamond Canada Goose, along with a Two Tones Diamond Gray Fox, my first ever Diamond Gray Fox, and probably the rarest of the Gray Foxes that I've killed. Two Tones isn't uncommon, so for it to be on a diamond was just beautiful. And then this is, I believe, the Red Fox we killed with the bow. I think this is the diamond fox that we killed with the bow, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd say we're about 50% through this. We're going to try and not waste too much time on the rest of these until we get to the really good stuff. We got albino caribou across from a leucistic caribou. We got a couple albino rabbits down there. We've got some piebald and diamond gators right here. Nothing too crazy. We've got an almost max scoring bighorns Cape buffalo along with an albino Cape buffalo and an albino harlequin duck. We open up the door to the room next to those albinos, and we've got a couple diamond axis deer along with a couple rare wolves and a piebald Roosevelt elk. And then over here, I forgot to put up the other one. You guys saw nothing. Over here, we've got 2 crowned wildebeest. This one we just got less than a week ago while I was recording for a multiplayer hopping guide. It was pretty cool to run into that because these are excessively rare. I've only seen 2. The whole time I played Call of the Wild, and if you look at the times that we killed these, you can see just how long it took me to get a second one. Almost a full 2 years time passed before we managed to bag this second one. And then up above we have the biggest albino water buffalo I have ever come across. I believe this was a mythical if I'm not mistaken, which is just absolutely crazy. By far the nicest water buffalo trophy I've found. Down here we have ourselves some rare European rabbits, an albino, a leucistic, we've got a melanistic, we've got ourselves a scrub hair diamond, and then we also have our best diamond European rabbit, which is a 2.5 scoring. Now we run straight across into this other room, and this is probably one of my favorite rooms, as I've told you guys many times in the past during the live streams. This is my red deer and Sika deer room. And we've got some pretty crazy trophies here. We've got ourselves just some incredibly large diamond red deer. 2 of them that score 268 even. There's a 267, a 255, a 266. And then we got a piebald diamond axis deer and another piebald diamond axis deer. This wall right here is a diamond red deer that I believe this is the highest scoring one we ever killed with this rack. And then we have 2 mythical piebald red deer right below it, along with some side-striped jackal diamonds and a piebald female coyote. If we look over at the next wall by them, we have a couple diamond wolves, we have a diamond chamois, a diamond mouflon, and our largest diamond red deer ever, scoring 269.1. This is the closest I've ever come to breaking 270 on the diamond red deer. It is possible because I've seen a couple people do it. I'd really love to do it myself, though, at some point. I mean, when you consider how many diamonds I've killed, being probably over 50 diamond red deer at this point between the Great One grind and all the ones that I killed before the Great One grind, I'd say we've got to be getting close to around 50 or 60 diamond red deer, and this is the biggest one that I've come across during that time. We've also got a few other diamonds up here. 2 of them are legacy wrecks right there, and then another one above that being a 255 true wrecks. This is the smaller version of this wreck. For those of you that don't know, there is 2 of them. There's like small differences with the tines, if I'm not mistaken. Like you look on this guy and you can see the brow tines don't split, but the tines up here do. And then if you look at this guy right here, you can see how the brow tines actually do split off. Let's try to get a closer look at one of these, maybe, if I can just face their head down. Okay, so that's gonna be a better way to do it right there. Okay, so that is absolutely perfect. So you can see the difference. These front brow tines have a little bit of a split that comes off. There's a couple little stickers. It's not like that on there. And then if you look at these upper tines, they're just barely forked off. And then if you look at this one, it's a much more noticeable fork on these tines right here, which is pretty cool. There is like some small differences in mass as well. You can probably tell immediately this one's got way more mass than the one above does. So those are the differences for those that were a little bit confused about it, because I know there's a lot of people that do not actually know there's 2 versions of this rack. It's one of those things that nobody really talks about besides like maybe Flinter, but I haven't heard anybody else mention it. But anyway, we've got ourselves a diamond Merriam turkey max score along with our only diamond Eastern turkey, and I love the Eastern turkeys. I really hope we get some more diamonds of them because I'd love to get a better scoring one, but as of now, this is what we've got to deal with. Next up, we've got our Sika deer diamond wall. Every single one of these racks is a different one, which is kind of crazy to think that the diamond Sika deer have 5 different racks that can make diamond. And they all look just absolutely stunning. I really do love the Sika deer. I would not be mad if they ended up getting a great one soon. I really hope we get a great one Sika at some point, because they've always been some of the most crazy looking diamonds that have just insane variety. I'd love to see some more Sika deer love. Now we've got this room over here, but we're gonna save that for last, so let's head down this hallway and take a look at our moose wall. We've got a piebald 251, the Mocha Mission Moose from Tiawaroa. We've got the 177 albino along with a 243 piebald, and across is a diamond spirit bear, the best diamond black bear I've been able to bag. By far one of the coolest medved trophies I think I've ever come across. I really don't hunt medved that often, so even getting this was a crazy accomplishment. And then over here we've got ourselves a piebald diamond teal. We've got our wall of bobcats, including an albino and 3 diamond ones. We've got a piebald European bison, along with a couple diamond black bear, including a max scoring one right there. Now, this was shot before the blonde was made a rare, so when I shot this, it was just one of the normal color phases. Unfortunately, they changed it later on. We've got a diamond wild boar, a diamond blonde brown bear, and a diamond gray fox. Now, moving into this next room right here, we've got a triple diamond roe deer in this roe deer huddle mount. These were all before they did the scoring changes on roe deer, so they do score higher than what they would score now. Over here, we've got a diamond brown hybrid goose that we actually killed recently, and then we also have a gray brown diamond goose as well. And wait a minute. Okay, that's actually bugged. This is a max score goose, but it's showing up as 9.1 for some reason. When you go on the trophy manager, and also when I shot it in the kill screen, it said 9.20, so I don't know why it says 9.1 now. It's a little bit strange, but it is a max scoring one. We've also got a 38 scoring albino mountain lion up there, along with albino blacktail, melanistic whitetail, a Bathidi albino, and another albino bighorn. Or actually, that's the first albino bighorn we've looked at. The last one was a mouflon. We've got ourselves a diamond lion, a diamond legacy fallow deer, max scoring mountain lion, a diamond bighorn sheep with probably one of the highest scores I think we've come across with any of them. We've also got a melanistic grizzly, a diamond axis, and a diamond blacktail deer. And over here we have a 7.7 light gray leucistic. I think this is the biggest rare goose I've killed, or one of the biggest at least. I believe, yeah, this is the only one bigger. It's a 7.9 gray. 2 crazy big rare Canada geese. Now this is the last room before we get into the main one. Let's go ahead and take a look at this first. We have our Grand Slam multi-mount of Bathidi Ibex, a stunning looking multi-mount. It's unfortunate that not more people like the Ibex. I've noticed that a lot of people don't watch the Ibex content that I put out, but they really are a cool species, so I'd love to be able to do some more stuff with them. We've also got an albino blue wildebeest along with 3 diamond feral goats, including a mixed diamond. This was one of the goats that broke our massive 21 troll streak on feral goats. I believe this might have been the actual one that did break the streak, if I'm not mistaken, and it looks like it's been just a little bit over a year since we killed it, which is crazy to think of. Then across on this other wall, we've got some diamond mule deer of varying racks and sizes. This is by far my favorite, but this one's a close second. I do like the way that it looks when the backs aren't crossing. This is a rack where the back tines can cross over if you're unlucky, but this one we got really lucky with. Then we look down here and we've got a blonde piebald common raccoon along with a diamond one. We run this way and we will see a 255 whitetail deer, probably the coolest diamond rack that I've seen for the whitetail. It's definitely not the highest scoring, but I think it looks the best out of all of them. I've always really liked the way that one looks. We got a couple more diamond Sika deer along with a troll piebald rocky elk. This was one of the saddest things I've ran across in Call of the Wild. Seeing this guy being a 5 and it had an estimate that was guaranteed to troll, it was just so sad. Never going to forget how rough that moment was. But we got another diamond whitetail over here along with a couple piebald red deer and a diamond rocky up top. Then if we look down over here, we have a melanistic mountain lion that was a mythical, along with a melanistic blacktail scoring 129.5. A really cool looking multi-mount. I just love the jet black mountain lion pouncing on the melanistic blacktail. It looks so cool. And then over here we have a light brown white-tailed jackrabbit. that is a diamond, as well as a diamond plains bison scoring 235. And last but not least, we've got the main room of the lodge. This is the room that most people are probably waiting to see. We've got a melanistic American alligator with a melanistic raccoon, a mythical albino red deer, probably my coolest rare red deer, with a melanistic female red deer. Then, as we look up, we will see 3 rare plains bison, one being a 162 albino male, a 160 melanistic male, and a 59 leucistic female. I do want to eventually get a male in here, but as of now, we just have a female. Down here, we have our 3 best rare whitetail, a 221 melanistic, a 236 piebald, and a 238.9 albino. Some of the most stunning rare whitetail that we have been able to find during our 10,500 kill Great One grinds. And then if we look over here, we have the piebald mythical alligator that scored 471, incredibly close to reaching that diamond threshold. And then we also have an albino raccoon riding on top of it, which looks really cool. I love the multi-mounts with the gators and raccoons. I just think they look amazing. Right here we have a brown diamond Cape buffalo with an albino female lion, a blonde female lion, and an albino male lion scoring 44.8. If I remember right, this was a level 6 when we found it, and it just barely made gold, which was pretty lucky because there was a good chance that it wouldn't. And then if we look over to the left here, we have our diamond coyote, along with a melanistic female duck, a max scoring mallard duck, and one of my favorite trophies in the lodge, a diamond leucistic max weight mallard. Now, it didn't reach max score, unfortunately. I believe it was 20.98. So it's 0.02 off of being max score, and for it to be a leucistic max score, or almost max score, is just ridiculous. This is one of my only 2 super rares in the lodge. I have this, and then I have that piebald caribou that we already looked at. And then if we look over here, we have my largest piebald blacktail deer scoring 165. Absolutely beautiful buck. Never found one even close to being this good ever since this one. And then right here we have a gray diamond mountain lion. This was the first rare, or not gray, or not rare, but first gray diamond mountain lion I ever killed. We've killed a couple since then, but this one right here was the first. And then if we look up over here, we have our albino alligator along with a diamond albino axis deer. Now you may be wondering, Scarecrow, isn't that a super rare? Yes, it is, technically, but it was shot during the time where diamonds were overspawning, so I don't count it towards my super rare count. They're just kind of nice to have in the lodge, and considering they were overspawning at the time and it wasn't really anything we can do about it, I really was wanting to just hunt them and show off the Truax axis deer when they released, and unfortunately they just happened to be overspawning for the diamonds. I think most people are aware of that by now. But we did get these 2 guys out of it, so it was kind of cool to still get them. It was almost like these were the diamonds, because there was so many other diamonds spawning at the time. These almost felt like a regular diamond. But then we look right in the middle, and we have a black gold wild boar and a melanistic wild boar, 2 very rare trophies. And this one right here we actually got on Hirschfelden while hunting for geese, which that's crazy enough as is, but then for it to also be such a rare trophy just makes it even more insane. Next up, we look above and have the nicest looking level 7 rare red deer I think I've ever shot, which is crazy because we've shot quite a few of them. Not quite a few albinos, but just rares in general, and this is probably the nicest looking 7 that we found. I believe both of these over here are 7s as well, but they're not even, so they don't look quite as amazing. I much rather prefer this guy right here in the middle, and I think a lot of people agree that this is the best rack for the level 7 red deer. And then if we look down here, we have a pack of Iberian wolf diamonds and a gray Iberian mouflon diamond. Another one of my favorite trophies. This gray mouflon is just such a stunning looking trophy. I would love to find another one of these someday, but for now we've got this beauty right here. Then up on this wall we have some diamond warthogs along with some albino ones. Quite a few of them that we have found just hunting other stuff on Vurhonga. I never target these things. Honestly, the fact that I have so many of them is just crazy because I never hunt warthogs whenever I'm on Vurhonga. It's always for other stuff, and then these guys just happen to run across. And then we look below us and we have a multi-mount of rare roe deer, an albino 49, a piebald 67, and another piebald 67. A very cool roe deer. This guy's actually super wonky, as you can see. One of his horns actually bends quite a bit back, or not horns, but antlers. Bends quite a bit farther back than the other. Gives it kind of a cool touch. And these over here are going to be the last things in the lodge. We have our antelope jackrabbit double diamond mount. Looking amazing as always. I do think this is a really cool multi-mount. But across from it we have a diamond light brown Rio Grande turkey, which is this little guy right here. And then we have our light brown Merriam turkey diamond. A pretty stunning turkey mount, if I do say so myself. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. That is just a quick little overview of the trophies in our main lodge. I say quick, but I've been recording for like 30 minutes, and most of that's probably going to be in the video, so I guess it wasn't really short, but it's as short as I could make it with what we have to go over. So thank you guys for sitting through it. I really do appreciate all the support on the channel. It's crazy to think how far the channel has got since we started, and how far this lodge has got as well. We have really made this lodge into something incredible, and I can't wait to add even more trophies to it throughout the next couple years. Thank you guys so much for being there for me throughout all of this journey. It honestly is just incredible that so many of you have come to the channel and so many of you have stuck around from the beginning. I honestly can't thank you guys enough, so from the bottom of my heart, just a huge thank you to all of you. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and end it. I hope you all enjoyed. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, click that like button, and ring that notification bell so that you guys will never miss any of the future uploads. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below on which trophy was your favorite during this tour, and I will try to respond to as many of the comments as I can. Also, let me know what you guys would like me to do in future videos, and I will try to get to as many of them as I can. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!